Hey everybody, Health Coach Erin here. Today we have a very special lunch walk and talk, and with me is one of my besties and colleagues, Rachel Hoover. Hi Rachel!
Hi.
So today we're going to diverge from our normal kind of nutrition and health discussions, and Rachel and I were recently talking about gratitude and how that works into a holistic sense of health for us. And Rachel knows a lot about this, so I'm going to turn this conversation over to her, and she's going to just let you know what we're going to talk about today.
All right. So I have spent a lot of time over the course of my career working with other people in supervisory capacities, with coworkers, and even in relationships outside of the workplace. And I think what I found is that people are trying to express gratitude to us, but we don't necessarily see it. The reason for that is because people express gratitude in the way that they like to have that received themselves. And everybody's got a different style. We communicate differently, which is part of the reason that we have issues with communication in the first place, right? Because our perception is our reality. And if somebody is not communicating on our plane or what we expect, we tend to think that they don't appreciate us. So I've spent a lot of time working with something called the languages of appreciation in the workplace, and it's developed from the love languages. If anybody, that seems to be a pretty familiar thing for a lot of people, the love languages are. So I decided to delve into that a little bit and develop a workshop on that I've utilized with some colleagues around campus.
Yeah, it's so insightful to hear about these things. I'm so interested in this, so thanks for talking with us about this today, because you're so right on that communication piece. It can be, we think we're communicating in ways that other people may just not be receiving. So this is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about those languages.
So the languages are pulled directly from the love languages. So those are going to be familiar if you're familiar with love languages. That's words of affirmation. So, some people like to have verbal praise, and that can, this is another little piece of it. There are things called dialects. So the ways that people utilize that love language or that appreciation language is going to be different.
Rachel, I love you. You're amazing.
Yeah. Some people really like to be called out in public. And if that's their, if words of affirmation, and they're sort of maybe an extrovert along with that. There are also people who are introverts who have words of affirmation as their language. Yeah. And they may be kind of uncomfortable with being called out in public. So, maybe an email or a card is a good way to go for those people. But you don't know these things about them until you ask them, or until they tell that or divulge that. And in the meantime, what we're left with is guessing and assuming is a really good way to have a disconnect. In fact, there have been studies done in multiple ways. SHRM is one of those organizations, the Society for Human Resources Management, that really kind of details how much of a disconnect there is of employers or managers feeling like they're doing a really great job of appreciating their people. In fact, like 55% or so said, we're doing a great job of this. But of those same employees that work beneath them, only 17% felt like they had been appreciated.
Yeah.
So having that very intentional conversation and understanding what that language is for those people, but also how it plays out, is super important. So another one of the languages is quality time. Quality time is about being around someone, being with someone without distractions. It could be just having a conversation. It could be a one-on-one lunch. It could be lots of things. And the other piece of the languages is just, to do this, to appreciate someone, is usually free. So it's, this is not some sort of big extravagant thing that you have to do. Another one of those is acts of service, which is very literally volunteering your time in your help to help that other person and show them that they matter, that their efforts don't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
Receiving gifts. And again, receiving gifts can go off the rails if you allow it to, but it doesn't have to. It could be as simple as, hey, I know you really like this type of potato chips. I'm going to bring you a bag of potato chips.
Who doesn't like potato chips?
Or, it doesn't have to be food.
Right. A flower off that you picked up on your
flower.
walk. Or...
Hey, I know you love this band. Let me send you a YouTube video.
I love that suggestion.
Yeah.
That's so thoughtful.
Lots of little ways that you can show people you're thinking about them, that you appreciate them, that don't have to cost anything. And then the last language is physical touch. With my disclaimer of you must have consent to touch someone.
Yes. Good point. Thank you.
In the workplace, this is typically the lowest language for everybody. People are much more likely to say that physical touch is important to them in a romantic relationship, even a family relationship, or potentially even friendship. But at work, this one's very touchy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But when you think about it, some of our traditions in the workplace, maybe not so much on campus, but I still do this, is shake someone's hand. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of an extension of an appropriate type of touch in the workplace or something
Absolutely.
like that. So.
We also see people who have adopted high fives.
Oh, one of our colleagues has brought High Five Fridays into our offices, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So those are pretty innocuous ways to include touch for somebody who, that is pretty important for. But knowing what all of those languages are for the people around you and how they prefer to have them play out is super important, not only for a supervisor, but for our colleagues together, because, it's not just the people who supervise us who need to show us appreciation or that we need to show appreciation to. We work with each other on a daily basis, on projects, when we don't have good communication. And so the dangers when we don't have good communication with each other are things like burnout, distrust, resentment, and all of that could be very easily avoided if we would just have a conversation about how we need to receive and give appreciation with each other.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so since we work together, and we're also friends, but since we work together, we know that these types of communications and these types of kind of relational helpers in our lives, this touches all aspects. It's not just work. I mean, this can touch our relationships with our friends and families, but also coworkers. And so this, as we talk about holistic health, this just fits in. These types of things fit in. So, Rachel, how would somebody learn more about this, or how would they get in touch with you if they might like to reach out to see about learning more?
Sure. So Paul White is actually the person who adapted appreciation languages from the love languages, and you can just search the website Appreciation at Work. You do have the option, there's an actual official assessment if you buy the book that you get a code for. But again, I've also spent a lot of time with this and have workshops available all the way to half-day workshops that can be done with the groups. And if you'd like to reach me, I'll provide an email address.
Yeah, you can get in touch with me at healthcoach1erin@gmail.com, and I'm glad to connect you guys. Rachel, thank you again for being my friend and coming. We've done lots and lots of lunch walks together, but this is the first one where we've actually done an official lunch walk and talk. So this has been so fun. Thanks for being with me. If you need to get in touch, you know how to do that. I'm here to help. So we'll see you next time. Bye.